Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment today. I'm often told with the people that I have a God given gift and I smile at it. They think that my memory, which is pretty sharp, and in fact, a photographic memory is a gift of some outside agency. No, it's not. But then people are not aware that memory is something which can be sharpened or dulled by various reasons. You might be having trouble recalling your second grade teacher's name or even just what you ate for dinner last night. And I do. And if it happens, it's natural. Long term and short term memory tend to worsen as people age. But now the neuroscientists learn about this process of decline. However, I have a few baby steps that can help you sharpen your memory and not become a victim of what people normally call memory lapse. As a matter of fact, you can not only sharpen your memory, but you can even reverse the process of the decline of memory. And this is because you have not been able to gear up mentally as well as psychologically to face the problem. The mind palace, I go by that concept of mind palace, is a great method for remembering that attaches information to objects inside an imaginary building or room. So, whatever I study, whatever I do, whatever context in which I may be working, I place it in an imaginary building or an imaginary room. And this technique was originated when the Greek poet Simonides of Ceos narrowly avoided being crushed in a building collapse during a crowded banquet. Now, this method is also known as a method of loci, the location, the place. And Simonides was able to identify the bodies of his fellow revelers by remembering where they had been sitting before he stepped out of the room. So just by remembering where A, B, C was sitting, he could identify the dead bodies, which were otherwise beyond identification. And this is an illustration of one fact that you can attach memory to a physical location or you are reading a book. Some fact comes to knowledge and you look around and associate that fact which comes to your knowledge to that location or to that product. So your mind's palace is getting populated slowly and steadily. The famous detective character Sherlock Holmes uses this technique to help him crack his cases in the BBC series you must have seen, Sherlock, which aired quite some time back. And the research on the mind palace technique shows that it boosts both the short term and the long term. And mind palace technique has been used since generations by the aboriginals, all the Adivasis, all the tribals, or the so called uncivilized or backward people have great memories. And look at your literature. It is basically oral tradition transmitting from one generation to another generation. So it was a memory and it was a mind palace technique. This technique was used by Buddha in his Jhatka tales. It was used in Puranas. It was used in Shastras. It was used in Socrates and Plato in their dialogues, in their conversation. Basically, this technique attaches information to a geographical, physical geography, but in the shape of a narrative that incorporates landscape, flora, and fauna. So if you are suffering from cognitive fog, From a short-term memory, I can give you about half a dozen tricks in which you can sharpen your memory. First is wake up and smell a herb called rosemary. Are you aware that the aroma of rosemary can help you increase your cognitive and memory abilities? In a 2003 study, psychologists asked 144 researchers or volunteers to perform a series of long-term memory, working memory, and attention and reaction tests. Some of them were in the scent-free cubicles, some with the chemicals infused with essential oil from rosemary, and the rest in the cubicle scented with the lavender oil. Now, the people who were in the rosemary cubicle had the finest response and excellent memory, but those who were in lavender performed worse than all others. Who were in scent free were average, lavender infused lower, rosemary infused were much. No, those who are exposed to the smell of rosemary, they reported they were feeling more alert than the scent free group. Well, as I told you, lavender sent the people to sleep. Their memories were dull. It's great feeling. You have repose, you have rest, you are feeling peaceful, calm, but your memory is dull. And when the memory is dull, the brain slows down naturally, so you feel better. But if you really want the memory to be there, so if you want to perform the best, you can try placing a rosemary plant on your windowsill. But you have to avoid stopping to smell the lavender. Now, the lavender producers might be annoyed, but that's a reality. So, this is the first trick. Second is food for thought. Everyone hopes to age gracefully, and not only outwardly but inwardly, psychologically, physically. Scientists say that a good diet is the main difference between those who are vivacious at the age of 70 and who look haggard at the age of 40. I've seen 40 years old, 30 years old look as old as 70. And I've seen 70 and 80 years old look fresh and young. And not only that, they look young, they act young. That's the important thing psychologically. So you keep your memory young as your brain gets old. I would suggest eating food that are high in antioxidants, blueberries, apples, bananas, chocolates. I don't know why people hate chocolates. And sugar. Sugar is the most important thing for building up your brain in any form. Antioxidants are molecules that easily bond with and neutralize electrons called free radicals. They float around in the bloodstream, and these free radicals accumulate in your body as you age, and they can kill the brain cells unless you kill them first. And brain is what? It's either sugar or healthy fats. Most important, omega-3 fatty acids. So, in order for the brain to repair itself and keep its neurons firing properly, you must provide it with raw material, fish, nuts, sugar in some form. Dessert is very important. And eating chocolate improves memory and cognition because it's rich in antioxidants called flavonols. Don't go over go down. I'm not saying excess of everything is bad, but just keep them ready, keep them as per the need and some portion every day. This is and the juicy fruit for the brain. Don't eat that fruit, which is dry as dust. No one knows now. But then, do you know? Chewing gum boosts your memory. No, don't be amazed. When you chew gum, what happens is that your short-term memory increases. A study was conducted in England in 2002, I remember. And they found that the gum chewers performed much better than those who were not the gum chewers. And their performance was better both in the short term and the long term memories. And there have been some more studies on that. No one knows why, but it's there. Some variations of the study show that gum didn't affect people's performance while studies have identified really. People say no, chewing gum is bad for this. But when you chew gum, it has a significant effect on your brain's functioning. And there's reason for the boost in the memory because of chewing gum. What happens is when you chew gum, it gets your juices flowing by increasing your heart rate or by causing the body to release insulin in preparation for the food. You chew food and you start salivating. But here you are salivating much more than ordinarily the anticipation. So this anticipation helps you increase your insulin production, release of it, and the brain region called hippocampus becomes much more effective. So you have a mental edge by chewing gum. Of course, we show that you're not chewing sugar gum because sugar otherwise is good, but as I said, too much might be bad. And the next thing is, especially for the people who are growing old, play brain games to keep your brain in shape, make it sweat, work hard. For your body, you are going to aerobics, you go to the gyms. But have you ever gone to a brain gym? Have you ever made it sweat? Thinking hard really does sharpen your memory. Think, read, read and think, contemplate. Your cognition, your mental faculties must be sharp. And you would say that the brain fitness programs are important. I was looking at one program called Lumosity. It was developed by Lumosity and just been developed in Stanford University, California, and others. And it helps. They've developed games which help aging people improve their memories, concentration, alertness, and even mood. And of course, classic brain team games are there, Sudoku, crossword puzzles that challenge your powers of logic and knowledge recall. And they'll keep your synapses firing. Then it's a sack. When you light switch off, your brain doesn't. Let's be clear. As you sleep, your brain replays the memories of the day and then consolidates them for long term storage. This is important. When you're resting, your brain is working. And the memories of the day, what you have studied, again, I come back to the study. Think. Now, that would be coordinated and assembled in one place, it become a block of memory. You see, there was a research done in the lab, and while the rats were sleeping, two brain regions, the hippocampus and the medial prefrontal cortex, they were retrieving memories from the past. What we do is we don't retrieve memory. And then, the sleeping helps you do it, but not too much. If you sleep for a longer time, for more than 3, 4, 5 hours, then your memory would suffer. So you have got to run through the speed up of the operations of the day. And this process is important for consolidation and neatly filing away the newly formed memories. As a corollary, if you don't sleep for one night, those temporary memory files would get either mixed up or be lost. It's exactly like a computer. Then the next thing is walk back in time. Physical exercise does not just build up your muscles, it bolsters gray matter too. The memory center in the brain called the hippocampus shrinks as you age. But the people who walk more routinely gain hippocampus volume. The study of Illinois conducted long back showed that the adults aged 55 to 80 who went on 3 40 minutes walk per week were better than the people who were toning workshops, weight watching, yoga sessions. Yoga might be good, stretching might be good, but walking is the best. As a matter of fact, brain benefits may arise from exercises induce mild stress. And when you have a mild stress, it's a production, enable a production of the growth factors in the brain. There's a more you have got to ensure that the more blood flows to the brain and thus delivers nutrients and oxygen. Either way, aging is not a one-way street. Let's be very clear. It is a one-way street which you can convert into 2 lanes. So these half a dozen things which I've told you, you've got to understand that memory, your mind palace, you're walking back in time, you're playing the brain games, your food for thought, all these things. And the perfume of rosemary, for example, these will enable you to have a sharpened memory. Another thing which people are not aware, connectivity. Add one thing to another. Somebody was talking to me about the politics, and I started way back with the Aryans and the French, and then with the Athens, and then with the Sparta, and then I went to Incas. And I said, how can you connect it? I said, look here, there's always a least common factor, LCM. Find out the LCM in the different parts of the memory. Connect them. That should be the connecting link, the least common connecting factor. And if you can combine that with your mind palace, be sure you can have a memory to be proud of. And maybe people will think that you are doing the same thing. So it is up to you to ensure the memory. But it's a gift which you have to give to yourself. It's a gift you have got to earn. And these things are just indicative. Most important is keep your mind fresh. Play games, brain games, physical games, especially walking. Build up your mind palace, build up connectivity, and you would have a memory of which you should be proud. Let's hope you do it. Thank you.